İzmir Go Turkey, the beauty of the Aegean. Hello, welcome to our channel. We are with you with a new video. We would be happy if you subscribe to our channel and share. Beautiful Izmir draws you into a world of picturesque modernity and traditions, with its refreshing touches to human souls. Izmir hypnotizes visitors in an aura of history and modernity. Izmir, ancient Smyrna, is located at a point where the Anatolian Peninsula extends into the Aegean Sea. Izmir is one of the oldest cities with continuous settlement for 8,500 years. Yesilova and nearby Yasi Tepe mounds are the oldest Neolithic settlements where idols and symbols of the mother goddess have been found. One of the founding legends of Izmir states that the city was founded by the legendary Amazon Queen Smyrna. The city dates back to the 3rd millennium BCE, at Tepekul, modern Berakli, and was one of the most advanced civilizations of its time, along with ancient Troya, Western Anatolia. The ancient historian Herodotus wrote, "They built their city under the loftiest dome of heaven and the best climate in the world." Aristotle told his student Alexander the Great, "You are not complete unless you have seen it," and Victor Hugo describes the city as Izmir is a princess adorning a necklace. Known throughout Turkey as Beautiful Izmir, the city surrounds a large bay adorned by yachts, ships and ferries. As the terminus of the ancient King's Road that runs across Anatolia to Persian Gulf, Izmir remains a focal point of tourism and entertainment. Its streets are shaded by palm trees, the sidewalks are beautiful and the houses elegant. The city's coastline is known for its seafood restaurants along the coast as well as its cafes, restaurants serving Aegean cuisine and other leisure facilities, while the hinterland is rich in ruins and monuments that tell the stories of countless ancient civilizations. Izmir is the sound of the sea and the wind. Thanks to its Mediterranean climate, Izmir is mostly sunny all year round. Summers are hot and winters are mild. With its cities and historical sites such as Bergama, Sezim, Foça, Kemalpaşa, Selçuk, Seferihisar, Karaburun, Tyre and Urla, Izmir plays a very important role in the history not only of Western Turkey but in the entire Aegean. With a total coastline of 629 kilometers, Izmir also promises a life in contact with the sea. In Izmir, you can enjoy the sea by walking in cordon or taking a ferry from Alsancak to Karşıyaka, or you can explore the bluest waters at 49 blue flag beaches. This makes the city a very popular destination for the beaches where you can find every shade of blue and enjoy all kinds of water sports.
See Smyrna. Places to see in Smyrna, Izmir. Ancient Smyrna is located on the mound in Izmir Berakli. It is a small peninsula that was surrounded by the sea to the west and south in ancient times. The Berakli Hoyuk mound, which is about 100 hectares, is a small hill built on a plain. Smyrna extends over a wide area towards the plain above this hill. Smyrna is an ideal example of the archaic period in Western Anatolia, with the wall surrounding the city, houses with several rooms and baths, a sacred building, a public fountain and a geometrical city plan. Open to the sea on the west and south, surrounded by mountains on the north and a plain on the east, Smyrna is the best example of a defensive city excavated in Western Anatolia. The temple uncovered during excavations in Smyrna is the oldest temple of Athena in Turkey. Izmir, including its ancient mounds and settlements, is an open-air museum that exhibits the historical identity of the modern city within easy access for its visitors. Izmir Clock Tower, the symbol of the city, was built in 1901 as the celebration of the 25th anniversary of Ottoman Sultan Abdülhamid's accession to the throne. It is 25 meters high, has 4 levels, and an octagonal plan. The clock tower has column capitals, horseshoe arches unique to North Africa, and the facades of the building are filled with no gaps. It has an architectural inspiration from the buildings of North Africa and Andalusia. The clock was a gift from the German Emperor II. Wilhelm. The green and red mosaics used in the construction of the clock tower, whose construction was undertaken by Raymond Charles Père, a French architect from Izmir, were brought from Ephesus, and the stones that constitute the main body were brought from Saraykoi. Catafalque at Catafalque, Velvet Castle, the ancient Mount Pagos, bears another legend about the foundation of the city attributed to Alexander the Great. According to the legend, Alexander the Great fell asleep under a plane tree while hunting on Mount Pagos. Two nemesis appear in his dream, asking Alexander to build the new city on the slopes of the hill where he slept. Alexander, waking up from his sleep, consults to Apollo at Claros. According to the interpretation of the Orcale, Smyrnians who will settle in the foothills of Pagos Hill near the sacred Meles stream will be 4 times happier than before. Ancient Smyrna was re-established on Mount Pagos in the 4th century BCE, at an altitude of 186 meters above sea level. The north and east walls and 5 towers of the castle, whose east and south walls were completely destroyed, survived. The height of the towers is 20 to 35 meters. Inside the castle, there is a large arched cistern from the Byzantine period and the remains of a mosque. Historical elevator. It is an elevator tower that houses 2 elevators between Mithat Pesa Street and the Nayat Bay Street, which is at a higher altitude. It was built in 1907 to facilitate transportation between the districts due to the 50-meter difference between the streets. The elevator tower has 3 floors. During World War I, the lower floor of the elevator was used as a casino, the middle floor as a photo hall and the upper floor as a cinema. Standing tall for 105 years, the elevator continues to function today as a cafe, bar and restaurant, attracting tourists with its unique view and offering a unique view of Izmir. Kibris Sihitleri Avenue. Kibris Sihitleri Avenue, translated as Cyprus Martyr Street, is considered one of the busiest hubs of downtown Izmir with its colorful shops, cafes and bookstores. It is a pedestrian street located in Alsancak district. In addition to the shops of world-famous brands, there are bars and cafes in the side streets, where many products from ethnic patterned handmade bags to leather shoes, designer hats to souvenirs, clothing and accessories are available. On some of the side streets you can find bookstores and booksellers. After some shopping, you can sit in one of the cafes and read your book while sipping your coffee. Cordon. With a beauty that inspired many songs, Cordon is a must-see place in Izmir. It's one of the symbols of the city, where locals and visitors meet the Aegean Sea, watch the sunset or lay down on the grass and relax during summer and spring. Once famous for its Levantine houses with marble stairs, and its mansions peculiar to Izmir, Cordon still has some architectural attractions where you can find traces of the past. In Cordon, there are numerous luxury restaurants, bars, cafes, and pubs that cater to different needs. Horse carriages near the Cumhuriyet Square are the symbols of this area. İZMİR Archaeology Museum. İZMİR Archaeology Museum, which was opened in 1927 in Ayabukla, Gazlu, Church to exhibit the works uncovered by archaeological excavations in the city, today welcomes its visitors in its modern building in Barababa Park in Konak. İZMİR Archaeology Museum, which is one of the first museums in Turkey, hosts findings from the 8,500-year-long history of Izmir, and it is one of the first museums to visit in the city. The museum, which covers an area of 5.000 meter², hosts artifacts and finds from the excavations in various parts of the city including Barakli, Smyrna, Ephesus, and Bergama. One of the fascinating artifacts in the İZMİR Archaeology Museum is the marble Androklos statue dated to Roman times, belonging to the founder of Ephesus, Androklos. İnceraltı and İnceraltı Naval Museum. İnceraltı has long been one of the favorite places for weekend excursions of Izmir residents. The area, with fish restaurants on the beach, flower gardens and large tangerine orchards, has been revived as a large recreation area with the new regulations. İnceraltı Naval Museum, one of the few naval museums of Turkey, it's a place for everyone interested in maritime should see. You can discover the history of Turkish maritime in the museum, which started to serve at İnceraltı Pier by converting the Aegean, frigate and Piri Reis submarine into a museum after completing their active duties. İzmir Bird Sanctuary. Bird Sanctuary, also known as Kusenity, Bird Paradise, spreads over an area of 8,000 hectares within the Komulti Salt Pans in Sigli. Sanctuary is home to over 270 bird species with endangered crested pelicans, pygmy cormorants, and black storks, is one of the most important wetlands of our country. Komulti Salt Pans and Bird Paradise are a rare blessing for nature lovers and photographers. Salt Pans, which is at Gediz Delta, meets an important part of Turkey's salt needs with an annual capacity of 600,000 tons. It is the largest sea salt works in Turkey. Bird Sanctuary, where 50,000 birds visit annually, is on the migration route of the birds and is also an archaeological site. Bird Sanctuary has a visitor center, bird watching towers, binoculars, and a touring bikes. Ephesus. Foundation of the ancient city of Ephesus within the borders of Selçuk district goes back to 6000 BCE. The biggest temple dedicated to Artemis, the Artemis Ion, of 6th century BCE was built at the skirts of Ayasaluk Hill in front of the earliest harbor of the city. It is based on the ancient mother goddess tradition of Anatolia. The later temple is considered to be one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Since Ephesus has changed places many times throughout its history, its ruins are spread over a wide area. Ephesus and its environs are included in the World Heritage List in 4 components: Kukurasai Hoyuk, Mound, Ayasaluk Hill, Selçuk Castle, St. John's Basilica, Isa Bey Bath, Isa Bey Mosque, Artemis Ion, Ephesus Ancient City and the House of Virgin Mary. Ancient Ephesus has been inhabited continuously for about 9,000 years from the prehistoric period to the Hellenistic, Roman, Eastern Roman, Turkish principalities and Ottoman periods, and has been a very important port city and cultural and commercial center in all stages of its history. St. John's Basilica. The basilica built on the tomb of St. John, who wrote the Gospel of John and is one of the apostles of Jesus, is located on Ayasaluk Hill within the ancient city of Ephesus. It is believed that St. John the Evangelist spent his last years in the region around Ephesus and was buried on the southern slope of Ayasaluk Hill. 300 years after St. John's death, a small chapel was built over the tomb in the 4th century. The Church of St. John was transformed into a miraculous basilica in the region of Emperor Justinian, 527–565 AD. John or the Apostle John was the author of the 4th Gospel and the Book of Revelation. Following the spread of Christianity, the people of Ephesus moved back to Ayasaluk after the 7th century. St. Jean's Basilica replaced the old Episcopal Church in Ephesus. The monumental basilica was shaped like a cross and covered with 6 domes. Its construction of stone and brick is an extremely rare find in the architecture of its time. Raised by 2 steps and covered with marble, the tomb of St. John was located under the central dome, which was once supported by the 4 columns at the corners. The columns in the inner courtyard show the monograms of Emperor Justinian and his wife Theodora. Built in the 5th century AD, the baptistry is located to the north of the nave, with its keyhole shape. The House of Virgin Mary. Virgin Mary House is located on the Bulbul Mountain, 9 kilometers from Selçuk. It is known that John brought Virgin Mary to Ephesus 4 or 6 years after the death of Jesus. In 1891, based on the dream of the German nun aide Katrina Emmerich, the Lazarist priests discovered that the house where the Virgin Mary spent her last days was at the end of this research. This event is a new invention in the world of Christianity and sheds light on the world of religion. This structure was planned over and then restored. The house is considered sacred by Muslims, the Pope VI. After the visit of Paul in 1967, the rituals are held every year on August 15th, and these rituals attract a lot of attention. And we can list other places to see in İzmir as follows: Sezim Peninsula, Seferihisar, Sagasik, Aliani, Foça, Alacati, Pergamum, Selçuk, Sezim, İldiray/Ancient Erythrai, Odimus, Burgi and Pitane.